Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Women Who Really Rock. I'm your host, Carmen Milagro. Women Who Really Rock is designed to put a spotlight on women and artists and people supporting them. And we want to showcase people who are doing incredible work, kindness work, I call it. And it's from all over the globe. But today we are we have a caller in from San Francisco. Our guest is here local. And our show is available on an international platform, the Divas That Care Network. You'll find us on the www.divasthatcare.com website. So joining me today on Women Who Really Rock is a wonderful and talented young lady named Bianca Guzman. I'm proud to know her because she was a makeup artist that I worked with just recently. Now, she's born and raised in San Francisco. She's an educator as well as a professional makeup artist, and she also practices the art of jiu-jitsu. Her mantra or life philosophy is, let all you do be done with love. In my opinion, that makes her the perfect guest to have her on this show because she's doing exactly what we hope to accomplish every time we do this show. So Bianca, thank you for joining us today on Women Who Really Rock. I suspect you're calling us from the school and sort of away from your students at the moment.
Yes, I am. I took a bit of a stroll and just enjoying the sun for now.
Okay, good. Well, thank you again for taking time out of your schedule to join us. I wanted to sort of dive into sort of why education and who you are as an educator. So, when you chose to become an educator, did you always know that this was a field you wanted to get into?
No, not always. I actually am not really used to being in the spotlight. I usually am more of a behind-the-scenes person. So teaching the students and things like that is a big step for me in my personal growth because I usually am super scared of talking in front of, 20 teenagers, even though they're teenagers, all their eyes on you is like a little bit intimidating at times.
Right. Well, I think for anyone talking to 20 teenagers could be intimidated by that, I think.
Right. Yeah, so, but I actually started off as the transportation coordinator, so I am still kind of partly behind the scenes, and then since the girls at the high school that I work at, they work 1 day a week to pay for their tuition at the high school, and the tuition helps their family not be able, because tuition nowadays for private schools are through the roof. They're almost like paying for college.
Of course.
So,
right.
So we give the girls a chance to get that education and network with people that they may not have had the opportunity to network with if they went on a different route. So so I handle transportation and getting the girls to work, but I also talk to them and teach them life skills. Like I just had a credit card class yesterday teaching the girls how interest rate works, what is the credit score, so real life things that the girls need to know when they're out of high school.
Absolutely. That's wonderful because I do feel like there's a lot of that missing these days. If you don't mind sharing, and it's okay if you can't tell us, but what I'd love to learn is where you're currently working. And I know that you're sort of this advocate role for your students. What's your student population like?
So it is mostly, our school is it's ICA Cristo Rey in San Francisco. We are mostly, since we are in the Mission District, we are a most Latina heritage school. So a lot of our women that go to ICA have a Latin background, and we include everybody. It's not just, it's anyone that wants to learn and wants to truly invest in their future.
Sure.
We try to make that possible for them.
Sure, but you happen to be in a primarily Latino neighborhood. At least that's how it's been. I know things are changing in San Francisco, like everywhere. But I think one of the things that really, really sort of like stuck with me when you and I have chatted before, not on the show, that I found interesting, and I love what you were sharing with me, is that you're actually a graduate from ICA, and you decided to go back to the school that you graduated from. I mean, not many people do that. I mean, there's, most young people dream of getting out of the location where they grew up. What inspired you to go back to your old school, the one you graduated from, in your old community, and stay and develop these roots? What was the inspiration behind that decision?
I actually really wanted to come back and just give back what I went through and what my experiences were with, because I went through my senior year was working 1 day a week. That's when the program started. So I actually went through a year of work study, but some of these students are getting 3 years, 4 years of experience, which is awesome. But sometimes, teenagers, they don't realize at the time that that this experience is really important, that the lessons that they learn in the workplace, how they're communicating with adults at such a young age is really important, and they can take with them through their whole career. So I just wanted to come back and show them, this is what you can do. You don't have to come back here. You can do whatever. You can do, you can go to school, you can graduate, you can also get your cosmetology license like I did, but still go back because you have your education. You can do a lot more things. It doesn't have to be one thing. A lot of the girls, they tell me, Miss Guzman, I really want to be a doctor and a lawyer. And I said, do both. If it's really what you want to do and you're passionate about it, go for it.
Oh, I wish we could clone you 1,000,000 times over all across the nation. As you're working with all these young girls and you're leading by example, what's your number one hope, for them? Like, what do you? I mean, you're already showing them, of course, what you've done and what your belief system is. But as an overall sort of, what's another hope for them that you hope that they learn from watching you, from from other people in the school, like on a grand scale? What is it that your number one hope is for the students?
I mean, I do have a lot of hopes for them, and kind of touching back on what I said about, them being able to have multiple careers for themselves or follow what they really are passionate about. It's just, that's my main hope for them, is to have them realize that they don't have to do pick just one career and focus on that. If they're passionate about other things, that they can pursue that as well. And my hope is that they remember me and my words, and that I've inspired them to not be discouraged to pursue that. That's what I feel, or what I hope, that that they remember my words more than they remember like my face or who I am. I don't care if they say like, oh, I forgot who the teacher was, but she said. That's all that I want them to remember, the words that I tell them, because that's what matters. So that's what I hope for them.
Right. Well, I mean, it sounds like on a very deep level, it sounds to me that what you're trying to do is pull out from them their inner power without limitations. Would that be a good statement?
Yeah, I definitely think that would be what I'm trying to do, and just having them realize, your career doesn't have to be a straight path. If you decide to take a break and do something else, or if you decide maybe you don't like nursing school, because a lot of girls decide, right when they go to ICA, they say, I want to be in the medical field. And they say, okay, so let's go to these different job sites and see what you really like about the medical field. And some students, they are passionate about it, and that's great. And some students learn throughout their time at ICA that maybe the medical field isn't for them, which happened with me. I really wanted to be in the medical field. When I was at ICA, I didn't get my first pick in a medical office or at a hospital, but I took that situation and just looked at the positives of working in an office, in a corporate office, and that made me change my major. I decided, I don't want to go in the medical field. I want to do business. I want to do something else, so that I have that option later to really decide and really narrow in what I want to do.
Right. I mean, I think something that's so important that you're also teaching your students is there is no direct path typically. I mean, most people do not end up in the careers that they love are not the ones that they started out with. And so that's kind of a general, like there's studies that have been done on this, and, the degree that you got isn't necessarily matching your passion and your purpose. So to be able to help figure that out, part of the journey is to try things. And it's okay, because that's how you start eliminating things. I think that, if I were to go back at my age and count all the different careers I've had, I would probably be probably scaring some people. But at the same time, for me, I am very curious. And so I would try things, and I would be very quickly realize, oh yeah, that's not for me. That's not what I thought. So, but I didn't really have someone like you in my life early on in high school. This was just sort of trial and error. So I feel that the service that you are providing and the school is providing is really invaluable, really, truly, because that's life. We're capable of doing more than one thing, like you said, and we're capable of being passionate about many, many things. When your students, when they find out, I'm sure, at the beginning of the year, they see you as their educator, their advocate, you're helping them get to facilitate their program and their experience at school. But when they find out that you're also a professional makeup artist, what's a typical reaction from them?
They are actually very shocked. My first year at ICA was last year, and, even I'm shocked. So many people told me, you don't know, when I would tell my friends or, just acquaintances, what I wanted to do, they asked me, what are my goals? What do you want to do with your life? And I would tell them, I want to do this, I want to do that. I have so many options. And, they told me, that doesn't really seem like you're focused, or it doesn't seem like they just see that I want to do so many things that it makes them think that I don't know what I want. And I'm like, wait, I do know what I want. I want all of it, I don't want it all. Just do one thing. I want to do it all. So, so when I tell the girls, when I first started at ICA and I started teaching the classes, I gave a little introduction about me, and I had the girls introduce themselves to me as well. But when I introduced myself, I let them know I graduated college with a business degree. I went to ICA, and they were shocked at that one as well. They're like, wait, why are you back here? They were laughing. They're like, why would you come back? And I told them, I said, if you really have passion for sharing your experiences with people, you might be here too, after me.
Right.
You might take my job. You never know,
Right.
right? So
yeah, exactly.
then lastly, I tell them, and I went to cosmetology school and got my license, and they were shocked. They were
Right.
like,
The gas.
what? Yeah, yes, all of the classroom, and then they just start asking me questions like, I want to do that. I want to, they say that they want to be a beauty blogger. They want to be a lot of students. They do want to do more computer-based things like Instagram, social media, and because that's popular now. That's
Right.
that's what students, young adults are seeing, are getting traction, and that's what they want to do. And I said, yes, you can do that, but also concentrate on your plan B and your plan C. You can make that something that you want to do, but make sure you have a backup plan as well.
Right. And sometimes it's not even a question of having a backup plan. It's just part of the plan, but there's different sections.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's,
exactly.
That's absolutely possible. When you're passionate about something and you love something, to me, as an entrepreneur, the greatest gift that I have is being able to take everything that I love, which is, like you, a lot of different things, and I've been able to meld it all together. I actually do live and breathe like you do. I do everything that I feel is my purpose, and it's blended into all my passions, and it's several businesses, not just one. So I feel like we're sort of preaching to the choir here, and I'm hoping that what this conversation that you and I are having, I hope that our listeners also start to think of things in a different way. I don't believe that we have to be just placed into one box for the rest of our lives, unless that's what you want. Then that's a totally different story.
And
I have to
girls,
say, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. And I tell the girls,
no,
if you only want one thing, that's fine. And just go for it as hard as you can, and don't let anyone stop you. And I tell them, there's so many experiences that I had in high school where I look back and I say, man, if I worked a little bit harder in what I was passionate about and know what I know now, I could have been like so much better. Like, for example, I played basketball in high school and I really loved it, but I didn't work as hard as I did for other things that I liked. And at the time, I was really passionate about basketball. And I look back and I say, wow, I was really passionate about that, but I feel like I didn't work as hard as I should have. Like I did myself a disservice by, not, always being on the basketball court or not breathing and living basketball, right? So I tell the girls, if it's just one thing that you're passionate about and what you want to do, focus on that. You can have, and I always tell them, because I say I have my career here at ICA, but I also have, my Instagram. I also have my business where I do makeup. I love doing makeup. It's one of my passions. But also helping them grow as powerful, successful young ladies, young women is also my passion as well. Because and that's why I live by the saying, let all that you do be done with love. It's actually tattooed on my right arm. Just as a reminder, everything that I'm doing, I'm right-handed. Everything that I'm doing, making sure that everything that I'm touching is just coming from a good place, and not making sure that it's always positive, and not letting negative things get to me as well.
Right, because of course life, can throw us curveballs, and people can try to dissuade us. But I think this is why you and I, ever since I sat in your chair and you were doing my makeup, I just saw such joy emanating from you when you were doing my makeup. And I picked up on that because that energy is, unless you are, completely desensitized, it's very difficult to ignore when someone is doing something, doing a job, doing a project, doing something, and love and joy to me are intertwinable. And so you were just emanating so much joy. And I think a lot of times programs or teaching programs for young adults and even children, they forget to talk about what I consider one of the most important motivating factors in a career, in a journey, and that's love and joy. So thank you for, for focusing on that with your girls. I think that they are so lucky to have you, and I hope that the school, the administrators, the other teachers, I hope they all appreciate, especially the girls, because it's something that we don't talk about a lot, especially in our Latino culture. There's, you and I think are changing the wave and changing the discussion and the narrative, which is why we're doing these types of shows. This is one of my passion projects. This is why I love doing what I do when I talk to people who are changing the world. And it starts by one student or one person or one neighborhood. That's why your energy caught my attention, and that's why I wanted to have you on the show. So thank you for being a part of this, because you have absolutely proven that what I'm trying to do here is just as important as what other, training programs are trying to do. All of those components work together, in my opinion. I also want to know, as we're starting to wrap up the show, how do people connect with you, with the school, with the program? What do you want them to know, particularly here in the Bay Area, of course, if they're looking for a professional and joyful makeup artist, say, for a photo shoot or an event? Please share with our listeners how to connect with you, whichever way you decide.
Yeah, I usually am available through my Instagram. I check that daily, which is Bianca Desiree Glam. And Desiree is spelled a little bit different, so I always like to tell people it's desire with a Y at the end. So Bianca Desiree Glam would be my Instagram for,
Yes, perfect. Are there any, I hope that your students will get to listen to this podcast. We'll give you all the information when it will air. And let's assume they're all going to be listening to it. What's the final message that you would like for them to take away from this podcast? The bell's rung. They're getting ready, and you're going to leave them with some new words of wisdom.
I would just say, keep your head up and don't let things, outside of what you can control affect you. A lot of times, especially younger students, let that happen, and you realize later in life that situation didn't have to become the outcome. And just to just do what you're passionate about, whether it be, or find what you're passionate about. If that takes, years,
right?
I say
and it can.
Do it. And if you don't find it, just don't stop looking for it, because it's there. There's something that will light the fire in you.
Oh, that's wonderful. I wish I had you as one of my teachers when I was in high school, which was many, many moons ago. And I hope to meet your girls, one of these days, very soon. It would be amazing and my privilege and honor if we could, we could make that happen.
We have to connect,
yes, I would love that. I just thank you again. I know that you're busy. You probably got to get back. This is probably your lunch hour, I'm guessing. But you are really a special light in the community, and I really, really hope your students really, I just hope that they know how lucky they are to have you.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. Have a great. I think they do. And I want to thank everyone listening. Everyone who's tuning in to our Women Who Really Rock podcast. We want to be able to uplift and inspire you, and we hope you follow all of our incredible guests. We want to showcase other women from all over the world. My focus is to try to inspire and uplift and showcase the people who are on the boots on the ground doing the work and that they're really rocking it too. Because it should be a fun, beautiful, joyful life. And I hope that you remember to find us here on Divas That Care Network, and that website is divasthatcare.com. Thanks, everyone. Until next time, this is Carmen Milagro on Women Who Really Rock.